Welcome to my channel Valuable Rare Coins because, as you know, old is gold. Some of the rarest coins worth big money could be hiding in your hands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch till the end. Let's dive in. First, we're diving deep into the story of a true American icon in the world of numismatics, the 1941 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny. This is not just any old cent you might find rattling around in your change jar, oh no. This is a coin with history, mystery, and a hidden fortune that could leave you stunned by just how much value it holds. So sit tight, pay close attention, and let's uncover the secrets of one of the most fascinating 1-cent coins ever minted in the United States. The 1941 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck in Denver, as shown by the small D mint mark just below the date. At first glance, this penny might not seem extraordinary. But don't be fooled. What appears to be an ordinary copper coin is actually a treasure in disguise. This particular penny was minted during a time of great historical significance, as the United States was on the brink of entering World War II. These coins served as part of everyday life during a dramatic and transformative era in American history, which only adds to their incredible appeal for collectors today. Now, what makes the 1941 D. Wheat Penny truly stand out are the extremely rare and highly valuable errors that occurred during its production. You see, minting technology in the early 1940s wasn't nearly as advanced as it is today, and occasional mistakes would happen, mistakes that are now worth a small fortune. Some of the most desirable and sought-after error varieties from this year include double-die obverse coins, where the date, lettering, or even Lincoln's profile appears doubled under magnification. These doubling effects weren't caught by the mint at the time, making the flawed coins extremely limited and rare, a true jackpot for those lucky enough to find one. Another known variation involves misaligned dies or off-center strikes, where the image on the coin is noticeably shifted, creating a dramatic and visually obvious error. Then there are repunched mint marks, where the D mint mark was accidentally punched more than once at slightly different angles. These repunched varieties are especially interesting to collectors because they provide physical evidence of the manual coin minting process of the time, and the imperfect craftsmanship only makes them more valuable. The key to spotting these errors is patience, a good magnifying glass, and a sharp eye, but believe us, it's worth the hunt. Collectors around the world are constantly hunting for the rarest 1941 D. Lincoln Wheat pennies because of their history, charm, and the thrill of discovering a coin that breaks all expectations. These aren't just relics of the past, they're keys to an entire world of stories and possibilities. And because the coin market is booming right now, the demand for error coins like this has skyrocketed. Coin dealers, private collectors, and even major auction houses are eager to get their hands on pristine examples, especially those with rare and documented mint errors. Just imagine holding in your hand a coin that was struck over 80 years ago, during a pivotal time in world history, and realizing it's one of the few that escaped the mint with a highly valuable mistake. Recent coin auctions have revealed just how serious collectors are about owning one of these gems. In an absolutely jaw-dropping sale, a 1941 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny featuring an ultra-rare double-die error in near-perfect uncirculated condition stunned the numismatic world when it sold for a staggering $298,000. That's right, one single penny, just 1 cent in face value, sold for nearly $300,000 because of its rarity, condition, and historical importance. This proves without a doubt that these coins are not just collector's items, they're investments, trophies, and pieces of history rolled into one tiny copper circle. So if you've got a stash of old coins hidden away, or if you're new to coin collecting and want to know where to start, the 1941 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny is a coin you definitely want to be looking for. Check your pocket change, dig through those old jars in the attic, and inspect every wheat penny you come across with care. If you find one with a doubled die, an off-center strike, or a repunched mint mark, you might be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. And remember, the condition matters. The closer the coin is to mint state, the higher its potential value. So treat your coins gently, store them properly, and get them professionally graded if you suspect you have something special. We want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a 1941 D. Wheat penny? Do you have any coins with unusual features or suspect you might have found a mint error? Drop a comment below and share your story. You never know, your discovery could be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you've got questions about your collection, we're always here to help and guide you through the exciting world of rare coins. Second rare coin. Discover one of the most intriguing and potentially valuable pennies ever struck in American history, the 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 1-cent coin from 1949, tucked away in your grandfather's drawer or hidden in a forgotten jar of change, could be the golden ticket every collector dreams of. This is not just another old coin. It's a piece of American heritage, and for the right variation in the right condition, it could be worth a small fortune. Stick with us as we uncover the incredible story, design, rarity, and secret features that make this coin so special. The 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny carries the proud image of President Abraham Lincoln on its obverse, a tribute to one of the most iconic figures in U.S. history. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday, this design became the first American coin to feature a real person, and it's been beloved ever since. On the reverse side, we find the classic wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent, a design used from 1909 through 1958. The wheat reverse design holds deep sentimental and historical value, reminding us of a time when coins carried not just value, but artistic elegance and national symbolism. Now, what makes the 1949 penny so exciting to collectors today isn't just its historical design, but the rare and fascinating minting errors that occurred during production. While millions of these pennies were minted across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, only a very small number came out of the mint with unique flaws, and those flaws are what turn an ordinary penny into a treasure trove for numismatists. These coins were struck during a post-war era when the U.S. Mint was producing high volumes of currency, and under such pressure, rare errors slipped through the cracks unnoticed until now. One of the most prized variations of the 1949 penny is the double die obverse, where you can clearly see doubling in the inscriptions such as "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date itself. This doubling happened during the minting process when the die struck the coin slightly out of alignment more than once, creating a visibly duplicated effect. These types of errors are extremely rare and incredibly sought after by collectors who understand the importance of even the slightest imperfection in a sea of otherwise uniform coins. A magnifying glass and careful inspection can reveal whether you've got a double die in your hands, and if you do, that could be the start of something amazing. Another stunning variety is the repunched mint mark, especially from the Denver and San Francisco mints. In some cases, the mint mark was manually punched into the die more than once, creating a noticeable doubling of the small d or s beneath the date. These repunched mint marks are clear signs of the manual craftsmanship of the era, and their uniqueness makes them a hot item in the numismatic world. Coins with repunched mint marks often go overlooked by casual observers, but for the trained eye of a collector, they're a rare and valuable find. Let's not forget the off-center strikes and die cracks that also add to the rarity of 1949 pennies. Off-center errors occur when the coin blank wasn't properly aligned with the die, resulting in a coin that's clearly misaligned and instantly distinguishable. Die cracks appear as raised, jagged lines across the surface of the coin, both errors that increase a coin's desirability and value. These are not flaws in the traditional sense, they are minting mistakes that tell a story of the coin's birth and set it apart from the rest. Identifying these errors takes attention to detail, a good loupe or magnifier, and a basic understanding of coin anatomy, but the payoff could be extraordinary in recent years. Rare examples of the 1949 Lincoln Wheat penny with such unique features have commanded serious attention at major coin auctions across the country. Collectors are going above and beyond to get their hands on well-preserved and error-stamped coins from this specific year. With demand steadily rising and supply of pristine error coins remaining low, prices are only expected to climb even higher in the future. The thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the potential for a life-changing payday is what keeps collectors coming back again and again, and the 1949 penny is right at the heart of this excitement, and now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Just how much can one of these small copper coins actually be worth? Well, brace yourself. A rare 1949 Lincoln wheat penny in exceptional condition, featuring a confirmed double die error or a significant mint variation, has sold at auction for an incredible $150,000. That's right, $150,000 for a 1-cent coin that you might have passed over without a second glance. This is the magic of coin collecting, the idea that hidden value is all around us, waiting to be uncovered by those with the curiosity and knowledge to see it. So, what are you waiting for? Grab that old coin jar, take a trip down memory lane, and start looking closely at every 1949 penny you can find. You might just be holding onto a rare and valuable piece of American history. And if you think you've found something special, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment down below. Tell us what you've discovered, or ask any questions about your coin collection. We love hearing your stories and helping you get closer to your next big find. Third expensive coin. We're diving deep into the world of American coinage to explore one of the most fascinating and underrated pennies ever minted, the 1939 Lincoln wheat penny. This is not just a piece of copper, it's a doorway into history, a highly sought-after collectible, and, under the right conditions, a potential fortune hiding in plain sight. So sit back, listen closely, and you just might learn something that leads to your next big discovery. The 1939 Lincoln wheat penny holds a special place in American history. Minted during the tail end of the Great Depression, this coin circulated in a time of resilience and recovery for the United States. Every penny counted back then, literally and figuratively, which means the people who held these coins valued them not just as currency, but as a symbol of hope during difficult times. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the coin features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the iconic wheat ears on the back, a design that celebrates both strength and growth during uncertain years. Just holding one is like holding a piece of American perseverance in the palm of your hand. But what really turns the 1939 Lincoln penny from a historical token into a collector's treasure is the rarity of specific mint errors and the limited number of surviving high-grade examples. These pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a small D; and San Francisco, with an S, but only a very few made it through the minting process with striking errors or were preserved in uncirculated condition. These rare survivors are the ones every coin collector dreams of adding to their collection, and some are commanding jaw-dropping prices at auctions today. Let's talk about those highly valuable and exciting mint errors that can transform an ordinary 1939 penny into a coin worth thousands. One of the most desirable error types is the double die obverse, where the lettering, date, or even Lincoln's profile appears slightly duplicated due to a misalignment in the die during production. These doubled images aren't visible to the naked eye at first glance, but under magnification, they reveal themselves, and collectors go absolutely wild for them. If you spot a 1939 penny with this kind of doubling, especially on the words "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," you may be holding something far more valuable than it appears. Another highly prized variation is the repunched mint mark, which can be found on coins from the Denver and San Francisco mints. These repunched mint marks occurred when the letter D or S was struck into the die more than once, often at slightly different angles. The result is a subtle yet distinct doubling of the mint mark that's easy to miss unless you're looking closely with a jeweler's loupe or magnifying glass. But if you find one, congratulations! You may have discovered a hidden gem that's in high demand among error coin collectors around the world. Let's not forget off-center strikes, die cracks, and even lamination errors, each of which can drastically increase the value of a 1939 wheat penny. An off-center strike gives the coin a dramatic, uneven look that instantly tells you it was struck incorrectly, and those types of errors are very popular with collectors because they're easy to identify and visually striking. Die cracks appear as raised lines across the coin surface, often seen around Lincoln's profile or across the wheat stalks on the reverse. Lamination errors occur when part of the coin surface peels away due to imperfections in the metal, and these two can make a coin more valuable and unique. Collectors today are actively searching for high-quality 1939 wheat pennies with any of these rare traits, especially those that have been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. If your coin still has its original luster, with sharp details and minimal wear, it could be worth significantly more than face value, especially if it carries one of the errors we've just discussed. Condition is everything in the world of numismatics, so if you believe you've found a special coin, make sure to handle it carefully, store it properly, and consider getting it professionally graded to assess its true market value. The numismatic market is heating up, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for rare and desirable coins like the 1939 Lincoln penny, especially if it's a certified error coin or in a high mint state grade. In fact, a stunning example of the 1939 penny with a dramatic mint error and near-perfect preservation condition was sold at a major auction for a mind-blowing $180,000. That's right, a single penny, 1 cent in face value, changed hands for $180,000 because of its rarity, beauty, and impeccable condition. This just goes to show how powerful a tiny coin can be when history, rarity, and demand collide in the collecting world. So, now it's your turn. Start checking those coin jars, sifting through your pocket change, and digging into those old family keepsake boxes. If you come across a 1939 Lincoln wheat penny, take a close look, especially for doubling, mint mark irregularities, or signs of striking errors. You never know what you might uncover, and it could be worth far more than you ever imagined. And if you think you've found something special, we want to hear about it. Drop a comment below and share your discoveries, ask your questions, or let us help you take the next step in verifying your coin's value. Especially, we're diving into a true gem from the golden age of American coinage, the legendary 1950 Lincoln wheat penny. This unassuming little copper coin might look like just another penny at first glance, but trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every drawer, every piggy bank, and every old coin jar in your house to see if you've got one. Because the truth is, this 1 cent coin could be worth far more than you ever imagined, and in some cases, it has shocked collectors with jaw-dropping auction prices. So stick around, listen closely, and discover why the 1950 wheat penny has become one of the most exciting coins in American numismatic history. The 1950 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in a time of prosperity and post-war progress in the United States. With World War II in the rearview mirror and the country entering a boom of economic growth, the U.S. Mint was producing coins to meet the needs of a growing nation. Minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, these pennies were part of everyday life, used in corner stores, diners, and soda fountains, a true piece of mid-century Americana. But while millions were produced, not all were created equal, and that's where the excitement begins. Among those countless coins, a very small number carry errors or characteristics that make them incredibly rare and valuable today. Let's talk about what makes a 1950 wheat penny stand out from the rest. The design is classic, Lincoln's profile on the front, representing strength and leadership, and those 2 wheat stalks on the back, symbolizing growth and unity. But it's the errors and variations that occurred during minting that transformed this coin from a piece of change into a collector's dream. One of the most desirable error types from 1950 is the double die obverse, where elements on the front of the coin, such as the date or the words Liberty and In God We Trust, appear slightly doubled. These errors are the result of a misalignment during the minting process and can often go unnoticed unless viewed under magnification. But if you spot one, you've just uncovered something truly special. Another amazing feature that makes the 1950 Lincoln penny highly collectible is the repunched mint mark, also known as RPMs. This is when the D for Denver or the S for San Francisco was hand-punched into the die more than once, leaving behind a slightly overlapping or shadowed mint mark. These errors are a window into the past, back when minting was done by hand in many stages and human error could create a variety of fascinating, unique results. RPMs are extremely popular with error collectors, and 1950 was a prime year for such anomalies. The most valuable ones are bold and easy to identify with a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, and they can make all the difference in the value of your coin. Let's not forget about off-center strikes, die cracks, and die chips, all of which have been found on 1950 wheat pennies, and all of which add to the value and intrigue of these coins. Off-center strikes occur when the coin blank isn't properly aligned, leading to a coin where the design is noticeably shifted to one side. These are instantly eye-catching and can fetch impressive premiums, especially if a significant portion of the design is missing or misaligned. Die cracks and die chips show up as raised lines or bumps on the coin's surface and are caused by aging dies during the minting process. Each of these types of errors creates a unique fingerprint for the coin, making it a one-of-a-kind treasure for any collector lucky enough to find it. If you think you've come across one of these rare errors or high-grade examples, it's important to know how collectors determine value. The condition of the coin is everything. A coin in brilliant, uncirculated condition with full original luster will always command a higher price than one that's been through decades of circulation. Experts look at details like strike sharpness, luster, surface marks, and toning to assign a grade to the coin. Getting your coin professionally graded and certified can greatly increase its appeal to serious collectors and investors alike, especially if your coin features a rare error or variation. What's truly exciting is how these 1950 wheat pennies are performing in today's coin market. Collectors are always on the lookout for rare dates and error coins, and as demand grows, so do the prices. In recent years, some truly exceptional examples of 1950 wheat pennies, particularly those with dramatic errors and mint-state grades, have sold at auction for incredible sums of money. In fact, one extremely rare specimen, featuring a perfectly preserved surface combined with a high-grade double die error, was sold to a private collector for an astonishing $145,000. That's right, a 1-cent coin that was once used to buy candy or bubble gum is now worth $145,000 when the right mix of rarity, condition, and demand comes together. So now it's your turn to start the hunt. Check those old family coin jars, examine every wheat penny you come across, and look carefully for signs of doubling, odd mint marks, or unusual shapes in the design. Your next big discovery could be hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be found. And if you believe you've found a 1950 wheat penny with a rare error or an exceptional condition, don't hesitate to get it evaluated or graded. It could be the beginning of an incredible story in your collecting journey. We'd love to hear from you. Have you found any interesting Lincoln wheat pennies lately? Do you have a 1950 penny with strange features or questions about what you've found? Next coin is all about an incredible little copper coin that could be hiding in your pocket change, tucked away in an old coin jar, or resting quietly in your grandfather's coin collection, the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny. This 1-cent coin may seem ordinary at first glance, but don't let its simple appearance fool you. It carries with it a deep historical significance, the potential for rare minting errors, and for the lucky few, the chance to turn 1 cent into an astonishing payday. So get ready, stay focused, and let's uncover the secrets behind the 1953 wheat penny and why collectors are hunting for it with passion and excitement. The year 1953 was a time of post-war optimism and change in America. The country was flourishing, technology was advancing, and the economy was booming. During this time, the United States Mint was hard at work producing the nation's coinage, including the Lincoln wheat penny, which had already become an iconic symbol of American strength and unity. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the front of the coin features the enduring profile of Abraham Lincoln, a tribute to leadership and freedom. The reverse side showcases 2 stalks of wheat surrounding the words 1 cent, a design that reflects the hardworking spirit of America and remained in use until 1958. But beyond its patriotic design lies something much more exciting, the hidden rarity and potential value of the 1953 edition. Although millions of these pennies were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, not all of them were created equally. What makes some 1953 pennies so valuable today is the presence of rare minting errors and the very small number of coins that have survived in perfect or near-perfect condition. When these factors combine, the value of a single copper penny can skyrocket, and that's exactly why coin collectors and investors are searching everywhere for these elusive treasures. It's not just about the age of the coin, it's about what makes it different from the rest. One of the most highly prized varieties of the 1953 Lincoln wheat penny is the double die obverse. This rare error occurs when the die that strikes the coin shifts slightly between impressions, causing a doubling effect on the front of the coin. Under magnification, You may notice the date 1953, the word liberty, or even in God We Trust, appearing slightly duplicated or blurry. That's not damage, that's a double die, and it's pure gold in the eyes of collectors. This kind of visual doubling is rare, fascinating, and instantly increases the coin's value significantly. Another exciting feature to look for is the repunched mint mark, particularly on coins minted in Denver or San Francisco. Back in the 1950s, mint marks were applied manually, and occasionally the mint worker would strike the mark more than once, creating a visible overlap. These repunched mint marks, also known as RPMs, show slight shadows or doubling of the small d or s below the date, and they're highly desirable among error coin collectors. The best part? These details are often missed by the untrained eye, meaning valuable coins are still out there just waiting to be found. Other rare and valuable 1953 wheat penny errors include off-center strikes, die cracks, and lamination flaws. An off-center strike happens when the blank planchet isn't aligned correctly during minting, resulting in a coin with part of the design shifted or missing, a dramatic and eye-catching error. Die cracks appear as raised lines on the coin's surface, caused by aging or damaged dies, and each one tells a story about the minting process itself. Lamination flaws occur when part of the metal starts to peel or flake, and while they may seem like imperfections, they actually add tremendous value when certified as mint errors. If you think you've got a 1953 wheat penny with one of these rare errors, or if it looks particularly sharp and well-preserved, you could be holding onto something truly special. The next step is to examine it under magnification, compare it with verified error examples online, and if it looks promising, send it off for professional grading. Coins are graded based on their condition using the Sheldon scale, from poor to mint state, and the higher the grade, the higher the potential value. Especially when paired with an error, a coin in uncirculated condition could command incredible prices on the open market. And speaking of prices, let's talk about recent auction results that have stunned the collecting community. One extraordinary 1953 Lincoln wheat penny, featuring a rare double die error and preserved in superb condition, recently sold to a private collector for an eye-opening $120,000. Yes, that's right, one single 1-cent coin, struck over 70 years ago, was purchased for $120,000 due to its rarity, flawless condition, and historic value. This just proves that treasures are still out there, waiting to be discovered by someone with the curiosity and knowledge to recognize them. So don't wait. Now is the perfect time to start checking those old coin jars, searching through inherited collections, and paying close attention to every Lincoln wheat penny you come across. You never know when you might stumble upon a coin that others have overlooked for decades. And remember, it's the rare features, the doubling, the repunched mint marks, the off-center designs, that could turn your ordinary coin into an extraordinary windfall. Now, we're shining the spotlight on one of the last great issues from the legendary Lincoln wheat penny series, the 1957 D. Lincoln wheat cent. This seemingly humble coin, minted during an era of American growth and innovation, holds more secrets and surprises than most people would ever guess. If you've got a handful of old pennies lying around or an inherited coin collection from your grandparents, you'll want to stick around until the very end, because one of these 1957 D pennies could be worth far more than a single cent. In fact, it could be worth a life-changing amount of money. So let's dig into the story, the history, and most importantly, the extraordinary value behind this remarkable coin. The 1957 D wheat penny was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small d below the date. This coin was part of the final stretch of the beloved wheat reverse design, which had been in use since 1909. The obverse of the coin features the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse shows 2 wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent. It's a design deeply rooted in American identity and pride, and it remained unchanged for nearly 5 decades for a reason. It symbolizes strength, tradition, and the values that built the nation. But while millions of these coins were produced for everyday use, a very small percentage came out of the mint with highly unusual traits that make them extremely valuable today. Collectors are drawn to the 1957 D penny not just because of its place in numismatic history, but because of the mint errors that make certain specimens incredibly rare and highly collectible. One of the most coveted errors is the double die obverse, where elements like Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date 1957 appear doubled due to a misalignment during the die creation process. This kind of doubling isn't from damage or wear. It's a genuine minting error, and when spotted, it can elevate a coin's value dramatically. These double die errors are scarce, but they're not impossible to find, which keeps collectors searching with great excitement. Another valuable trait in the 1957 D penny is the repunched mint mark, also known as an RPM. These occur when the Denver mint mark D was accidentally punched into the die more than once, creating a visible overlap or shadow effect. These RPMs are especially popular among error coin collectors because they offer a unique look into how the minting process operated in the mid-20th century. The best examples are easy to identify under magnification, and coins with bold, clear RPMs can fetch significantly higher prices than their regular counterparts. The 1957 D has several known RPM varieties, and serious collectors hunt for each one like hidden treasure. That's not all off-center strikes. Die cracks and BE errors also add to the value and interest surrounding this coin. Off-center strikes occur when the coin is not properly aligned with the dies during minting, resulting in a design that is shifted or even partially missing. These kinds of errors are dramatic and visually impressive, making them very desirable to collectors. Die cracks happen when the die used to strike the coin begins to wear or fracture, leaving raised lines on the coin's surface, and, depending on their location, they can become famous and collectible varieties. The BA error is a classic Lincoln cent anomaly where a die chip between the letters B and E in Liberty creates what looks like an extra I. It may seem small, but it's details like these that truly excite the numismatic community. Condition, as always, is king when it comes to determining value. A coin in mint state, especially one that retains its original luster and sharp details, will always command a much higher price than one that has been circulated or worn down. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with anything above MS 65 considered top tier. If you think you've found a 1957 D penny with any of the errors mentioned and it's in excellent shape, it's well worth having it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. A high grade combined with a significant error can make this coin a true showpiece and potentially a six-figure collectible. Now let's talk about real-world results, because this is where things get truly exciting. In recent years, rare and high-grade examples of the 1957 D Lincoln Wheat penny have made headlines at major auctions, especially those with bold double die obverse or dramatic mint mark repunches have caught the attention of elite collectors across the globe. One such coin, featuring a stunning error and preserved in an immaculate state, recently sold at auction for an eye-opening $100,000. That's right, a penny. A single copper coin that many people would overlook ended up being worth $100,000 thanks to its rarity, condition, and historic significance. That kind of value is what keeps coin collectors coming back day after day because it proves that hidden treasures really do exist. So if you've got a 1957 D Lincoln Wheat penny in your collection, now is the perfect time to examine it closely. Look at the mint mark, study the lettering and date under magnification, and watch for signs of doubling, cracks, or off-center strikes. Even the smallest detail can make a world of difference when it comes to rarity and value. We want to hear your story. Have you come across a 1957 D Wheat penny with an unusual feature? Do you have one that's been passed down through your family? Are you just starting your journey as a collector? Leave a comment down below and share your experience. Last unique coin. We're going to dive deep into a very special coin, the 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny. Yes, you heard that right. A simple copper penny from 1947 could be hiding in your old change jar or coin collection right now, and it might be worth far more than 1 cent. In fact, it could be worth a fortune if it has the right characteristics. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, because this is one story you absolutely don't want to miss. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny was minted during a fascinating time in American history. Just 2 years after the end of World War II, the United States was moving full speed ahead into a new era of peace and prosperity. The country was rebuilding, industries were booming, and the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing the coins that fueled the post-war economy. Among those coins was the humble Lincoln wheat cent, a coin that, although common at the time, has now become a prized piece of history for collectors all over the world. And while millions of these pennies were struck, only a tiny fraction have survived in pristine condition, and even fewer carry the rare errors that make this coin truly exceptional. Let's start with what makes the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny such an eye-catcher in the world of coin collecting. First off, the design is timeless, featuring the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor D. Brenner, and the classic wheat ears on the reverse, representing growth, unity, and the enduring American spirit. But while the design itself is beloved, it's the small details, the flaws and imperfections created during minting, that elevate certain 1947 pennies from everyday coins to collector gold. One of the most exciting features to look for in a 1947 Lincoln penny is a double die error, particularly on the obverse side. This rare and valuable error occurs when the coin die impresses the design onto the planchet twice, but slightly misaligned, resulting in a noticeable doubling of letters and numbers. On a true double die 1947 penny, you might see doubling in Liberty, In God We Trust, or the date itself. These aren't scratches or damage, they are legitimate minting errors, and they can be worth thousands if the coin is in excellent condition. And because these errors are often subtle, they can be easily overlooked, which means there could be one hiding in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered. Another rare and valuable feature to look for is a repunched mint mark known as an RPM. This happens when the mint mark, usually a small D for Denver or S for San Francisco, was punched into the die more than once, often at slightly different angles. These small overlaps and shadows in the mint mark may be tiny, but they make a big difference when it comes to value. If you come across a 1947 penny with an RPM, especially one that's crisp and clearly visible, you could be holding onto something very special. Collectors love these coins because they're not just currency, they're historical fingerprints of a time when minting was more hands-on and prone to these fascinating quirks. But the treasure hunt doesn't stop there. Keep your eyes open for off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned due to improper placement during the strike. These errors are easy to spot and highly collectible, especially if a large portion of the design is missing or shifted. Then there are die cracks, which appear as raised lines on the coin's surface due to stress or breakage in the die during production. These are often seen along Lincoln's face, across the lettering, or along the rim, and they give the coin a unique look that collectors go crazy for. Even lamination errors, where the metal surface starts to peel or flake due to impurities, can add significant value when authenticated and graded. Speaking of grading, condition is everything when it comes to determining a coin's true worth. A 1947 Lincoln wheat penny with a rare error is impressive, but if it's also in mint state condition, meaning no wear, full detail, and original luster, that's where the real money is. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with grades above MS, 65 considered exceptional. Coins in this condition are rare, especially from earlier decades, because most were used in everyday circulation. So if you happen to find one that looks brand new, shiny, and free of damage, it could be worth a small fortune, especially when paired with an error like a double die or off-center strike. Now let's talk about actual numbers, because this is where it gets really exciting. In recent years, rare and high-grade 1947 Lincoln wheat pennies have brought in huge amounts at auctions and private sales. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for error coins from this year, especially ones with dramatic doubling or strong RPMs. One particularly stunning 1947 Lincoln cent, featuring a bold minting error and preserved in flawless mint state condition, shocked the collecting world when it sold for an unbelievable $199,000. That's right, 1 cent turned into $199,000, all because of its rarity, condition, and historical significance. And that's why this coin continues to be one of the most sought-after wheat pennies among numismatists and coin investors alike. It's a shining example of how attention to detail, a little knowledge, and a sharp eye can lead to an incredible find. So if you've got a box of old coins sitting in your attic or garage, now's the time to check. You might be holding a 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny worth more than you ever imagined. We'd love to hear your stories, too. Have you ever come across a 1947 penny with unusual markings? Do you have a coin that you think might have one of the rare errors we mentioned today? Drop a comment down below and share your experience with us. If you have questions, we're here to help you figure it out, and who knows, your story might inspire someone else to dig through their own collection. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another exciting discovery from the world of coins. Every single coin has a story, and the next great coin story could be yours. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat penny is more than just copper. It's a symbol of American resilience, a masterpiece of minting history. And in the right condition with the right error, it could be worth an astonishing $199,000. So stay curious, keep hunting, and happy collecting.